I know that you are Vietnamese. How did you learn English?
Or it's come from a pain, it's come from a motivation. Like for example, somebody will come to the gym, and when you look at the body, it's just like six packs right here. But then people don't know that how much they have to do gym every single day with pain in their leg and in their hands. So for me, it's like I start from a very poor family.
There's always a room for improvement if you keep learning.
If you keep learning,
Yeah.
correct. And I like the word of Steve Jobs.
Yeah, exactly.
Stay hungry, stay foolish. Just keep learning every single day.
Indeed. Hi sir, good evening. It's pleasure to have you here. Actually, we are doing interview for our viewers of Bobby's Angel. So if you don't mind asking sir, would you mind to introduce again your name?
Yeah, my name Tommy, but actually Tommy is not a real name. It's just the name that I choose for a job as a tourist guide about 13 years ago when I first become a tour guide. Because since then I did not know how to speak any English. Then I just say my name's Thong, Thong, which means a smart and clever boy. But nobody really understand that because Vietnamese is very complicated language. So when I say Thong, 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 and people call me in the wrong way, and then there was a foreigner suggest me to choose the English name, and the word Tommy just sounds like Thong.
Thong.
So that's the reason why I choose the name Tommy then.
Oh wow, I see. So it pronounced like in Vietnamese they pronounce it Thong.
Thong in
Thong.
particular.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
All right. Well, thank you, sir, for introducing. Do you live here?
Here in Ha Long, no, I do live in Hanoi, which is 130 kilometers away from Hanoi. And I was with a tour group from Hanoi come here this morning. And Ha Long Bay is one of new 7 wonders of the world. And every year we have millions of tourists coming to Vietnam just to see Ha Long Bay. So it's actually a very wonderful night here on the Ambassador Cruise with our group of Vietnam Rose then.
Wow, I see. And if you don't mind asking, sir, how long you've been working here as a tour leader?
In my opinion, there are two ideas of our job. One is the tour guide, another one is the tour leader. A tour guide is like when I'm in Vietnam and I'm doing things, introduce and welcome people in the airport, like, hi, welcome to Vietnam. So that's what a job as a tour guide. And a tour leader, like I can travel around the world with different travel agency as a freelancer. And both of that is very interesting. And I'm coming back home now to Vietnam to work as a tour guide because I have family tied me back, and I have things because when I go outside of the country to 25 countries up to now, I have plenty of time outside the country, which means I don't have any chance for my family. And as living in Asian country, Asian people are generally family oriented. Like in Philippines or in Vietnam, we're living with grandparents and parents, and we just need time to look after them.
25 countries at his age. Like,
No,
wow.
31 already, but I know that I do look young, yes,
Yeah.
because of my job.
Sir, you speak English fluently.
Yeah.
I know that you are Vietnamese. How did you learn English?
To many people, it's a motivation story. It's come from a suffer, it's come from a pain, it's come from a motivation. Like for example, somebody will come to the gym, and when you look at the body, it's just like six packs right here. But then people don't know that how much they have to do gym every single day with pain in their leg and in their hands. So for me, it's like I start from a very poor family, and education was not fully enough, and so there was nobody actually respect me, and I just keep studying from primary, secondary to high school. And luckily for me that I joined into Hanoi Open University that focus in tourism. But then some of my classmates, they did not really respect me because they have a good English and I didn't, and they say to me kind of thing. What I understand is that my life will suck if I cannot get English as my advantage. And so I just decided to come to Hoàn Kiếm Lake. Hoàn Kiếm Lake is the one nearby the old quarter of Hanoi. And I just come there and talk to foreigners after he told me that I could not really sleep for a few days. because I'm the man. We have a high ego. We want to show ourselves and show our confidences.
Yeah, masculine, be masculine.
Yes, be masculine. And so I just come there and just keep learning. And there was, because we have backpackers in Hanoi and they have a limited budget, but then they have the things that we need, because they as a foreigner, they need somebody to show them around without money, without much of financial. And in exchange, they give me chance to talk in English. And then since then, back to about 2011, when I first joined the University of Tourism, then I just come and talk to everyone as I can. And in the first 3 years of my working experience, I talk to every of my tour group, because I tell them, Tommy, don't have really value. I have not much value, and you only tip to somebody when the person can give me a good tour, a good value, speak good English. But then my English is not good now, so you can just consider that your tipping, your thank you, by fixing my pronunciation, by making it so perfect and make it better, like say like that. Because in Vietnamese is the lazy language. So basically we don't really use our mouths, or we don't really use we don't use our tongues. Like, let's say if we say the word mouth, we don't say it, we just say mouth. We don't really use our tongue for the language. So that's why for Vietnamese, if somebody do not have a good pronunciation, people cannot really understand what they are saying. So I just try to improve myself for as much as I can. And a good thing for my job is that I get to learn every new thing. So let's say if we go to the English center and we have 1 or 2 teachers, but for me, like you see, I have a tour group today and 40 people, they are 40 of my teachers. And for the rest of that 13 years in my working experience, I think I have thousands of different teachers.
Wow.
So each of them give me a life story, give me one word correct. So let's say if just each of them give me one correct word, I have over 4,000 correct pronunciation. So it just helped me too much with my English right now. So that's my advantage compared to other people that have me to this level. But I never trust myself in English, because we always can be better. And I always think that tomorrow morning when I wake up, I get to learn everything and then plus one more. So life is everything plus one more, plus one more. So I believe that my English can be better, my knowledge can be better, and my personality and my skill can be better every single day that pass by. It's my motivation for myself and for many of my friends as well.
Oh, that's so amazing of you. There's also an, what they call this one, a saying that there's always a room for improvement if you keep learning.
If you keep learning, correct,
yeah,
yes.
right.
And I like the word of Steve Jobs.
Yeah, exactly.
Stay hungry, stay foolish. Just keep learning every single day.
Indeed.
Yep.
Okay. Well, thank you so much for that, sir.
Yep.
And sir, would you mind to tell us what is the best spot or tourist spot here in Vietnam?
Vietnam is a beautiful country, like the S letter,
Exactly.
And the country, well, if I talk to you too much about this country, the video will not be enough, but I just make it very short. That the country are divided into 3 main parts. Then you can just understand like this. Top, which is the north, the middle, and the south of the country. And for the north of Vietnam, this is Hanoi or Hanoi, which means the capital city of Vietnam.
So
which is right here. Let's just say it's right here in the middle of the phone. And then if we slightly go down this way, 120 kilometers right here, around here, that's World Heritage, one of new 7 natural wonders of the world. And in the Philippines, have Puerto Princesa. It's the UNESCO heritage as well. So from Hanoi, riding down here is Ha Long Bay.
Ha Long Bay, which is here.
Which is here, yes. And let's say if we move to the middle of Vietnam, from Hanoi, fly for 1 hour and 25 minutes. We have Da Nang. Da Nang, which is like a beach city, a very nice tourist spot with a hand bridge, very famous one for foreigners. And we have the ancient town from hundreds of years ago, which is called Hoi An, Hoian, that's the town. And then from there, another 40-minute flying to the south of Vietnam. We have Ho Chi Minh City, which is called Saigon. It's the biggest city and the metropolis of Vietnam. And then we have the whole Mekong Delta area. And I think Filipinos love our durians and love our coconut, and they can have it there in the Mekong Delta in the south of the country.
I see.
Yep.
South.
So the north again, the north is Hanoi and Ha Long Bay. The middle of Vietnam is Da Nang
Da Nang, yeah.
and Hoi An.
Ho An. Oh,
Hoi An.
Ho An.
Yes. And in the south of Vietnam is Ho Chi Minh City
Oh,
and Mekong Delta.
Mekong.
Mekong Delta.
Mekong Delta.
Mekong Delta. Yes.
I got it.
Yeah.
I see. Do you have any idea, sir, about the form of the rock here?
Yeah. Yeah. About the rock formation here, we have it. We have over 2,000 islands here in Ha Long Bay, and basically due to the movement of the earth layer of million years ago, it's create different rock formation here in the bay, and then we have many different capes based on the route itinerary for 1 day or 2 days 1 night or 3 days 2 nights. The people can come to different capes, but we have the one is called Surprising Cave, and we have stalagmite and the stalactite. So basically we have the rock mountains like this, and the water from the rainwater keep coming through the crack of the forest and come with the calcium from the rock, from the mountains, and then the water just keep dripping, just like that. And after a million of years, it creates different forms inside of the caves that people can imagine. It can be like dragons, it can be like phoenix, it can be like this and that, based on the imagination of people. So that's why people are so interested to come to explore our caves in Ha Long Bay. Or even if you don't come into the cave, you can just look from outside, and it looks so beautiful. And you can see that even in our currency. Wow, another thing, you come to Vietnam, you be a millionaire. Because if you see here, of course I have a lot of them, but then let's say if you got 2 of that pieces right here, there we go. It's 500. You become a millionaire in this country. Okay, that's number 1 thing. Number 2 thing is, if you see here, this is the note of 200,000, and this is one of the rock formation right out here of Ha Long Bay, UNESCO heritage. Yep. So we have over 2,000 different islands here, and more than that, we have thousands of islands without the names and undiscovered, because this is the value of the country. So we just discover a very small part for tourism, and we still keep other part as a secret
Up until now.
And will be in the future.
Wow, that's amazing.
Yep.
I see. Okay, the cruise ship. May I ask, sir, when did it start as a famous tourist spot in Hanoi?
Yep. For the cruise ship all over the north in general, and Ha Long Bay in particular, let's talk about a bigger thing. A bigger thing is that because our country, we will suffer a lot from the war. It's 1,000 years under the Chinese occupation, and then so many wars with our border country between like Vietnam and Thailand, Vietnam and Mongolia, Vietnam and China, and then from 1858 until 1954, that's the war between Vietnam and French. And then right after that was the war between Vietnamese and the American, which is famous for the senior, like the Filipino or Americans or French over the world. Vietnam War is the famous name for everyone. And then our country were isolated until about 1991, 1992. We started to open our country, and then in 1993 we opened up our country to the world, and that's the first time after so many years that we welcome foreigners to Vietnam. And the cruise ship in Ha Long Bay like that start from about 1995 up to this moment, and from very first time we have just very little some cruises around here, but up to now this is one of the main industry, and we have hundreds of different cruise ships, and we are in Ambassador Cruise, which is one of the most famous five-star cruise in Hạ Long Bay, which gives the best quality out of all.
Wow, I see. Thank you so much, sir. Last question, sir. I want to know which one is very convenient, like having a tour guide, or we can do it ourselves, like DIY.
DIY, do it yourself.
Yeah.
Well, let me come to one by one. For individual, like do it yourself tour, yes you can, but you are in Vietnam. Well, sorry guys, in Vietnam not many people speak English. Well, I can't say that my English is that good, but at least you can understand me, right? Well, because let's say majority of people in Vietnam do not speak English, so you can do it yourself. You can have your own transportation arrangement, and you can have your own tours around here. But then English or language can be one of the barrier for you. Another thing is that it can be cheaper, but then you will need to have a lot of preparation, and preparation will cost you a lot of energy. And it's the same for me. Yes, I am a tourist guy, I have sense, I have skill to travel by myself on my own, but every time I go to Paris by myself, it's still a headache. And everything I have to stay focused, because let's say I come to Hạ Long Bay hundred of different times, but none of that time is a holiday for me, because I have people to look after.
Yeah.
So it's the same. Let's say if I have a DIY tour, yes, it can be cheaper, but then I will not enjoy myself as much, because my mind have to work.
Yeah, exactly.
So do it yourself tour, it can be tiring for you as well, and it can be risky sometimes. If we just make a very little mistake, it can be a very big mistake at the end of everything.
Exactly.
So it, yes, have advantage a lot, but disadvantage a lot. But then if you stay on budget like a young guys, yes, of course recommend. So even if you don't go on the tour with Tommy, it is just fine, don't worry about that. I can still just tell you what the best that you can do here, that I can just give you a suggestion, because it doesn't matter if that do it yourself tour, if that the tour is still bring benefit to my country, because as long as profit come to my country, it will come to me, because everybody in Vietnam is good, then I'm good, and it's got a good reputation for me, for my country, and for everyone, because their tour is perfect. Even money does not come to my pocket, don't worry about that, it's just okay. Don't think too much about paying financially. But then for the tour, just of course it's more convenient, it can be more expensive, and of course the tour organizer can make some money. But then surely one thing, that your mind don't have to work.
Exactly.
You can just enjoy yourself as much, and if you got any question, you ask, okay, what time to go, where is the CR, where to have lunch, where, when, how, what. Every questions like that you can make, and make everything is just very easy. It's just just a little more financially in terms of money. But well, it's hard to answer which one is better, but in my opinion, to really enjoy your holiday,
so
a tour can be a better thing. But then let's say if you just travel by yourself on your own and you have a limited budget, do it yourself is the best way. But for my family, when I travel with my family, with my parents, with my kids, for example, I would choose the tour, because they can have it more perfectly, more logistic, better kind of thing.
Okay. Sir, this would be the last question. We would like to ask also, if do you offer a tour to other countries?
Yes, I do offer tours to other countries as well, because I have an experience to travel to 25 different countries in multiple times. So I do tours for foreigners to Vietnam, and I do tours for Vietnamese people, even foreigners go overseas to many other countries as well. And absolutely I can do it.
Wow, I see. Okay, sir, this is the last question. Do you offer like private tour, like
customized tour,
customized
private tour? Yes. Yes, I do that a lot, because for many people, traveling as a group tour is a good experience, but of course it's lack of privacy. That like the tourists there, we have temples there, we have these places and another places to go, but other people just say no, I don't want to do that, just take me to the hotel.
Mm-hmm.
For group tour, can't do that sometimes, but for private tour, absolutely it is, because let's say private tour with you mom, you will be the only my guest, so whatever make you happy, then it's there.
That would be easier.
Yes, because you know Tommy is here to make you happy and reach your expectation, whatever it is.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I see. So, yeah, to our Bobby's Angels viewers, so if you guys would like to come here in Vietnam, okay, we will give you Sir Tom's information so that you guys can ask him to have a tour here in Vietnam. That's it.